We flew Air Jamaica into Kingston, arriving around 8:30 in the evening. The plane landed and we had to disembark on the tarmac and then walk to the terminal. And as I stepped out of the airplane and walked down the stairs, Jamaica surrounded me. The air was thick, very thick, hot like only in the tropics. Jim told us to tell immigration that we would be staying at a hotel, and not to mention Papine or the gospel camp. Jamaican authorities frowned on young white hippies coming to Jamaica just to smoke pot with the Rastas. We cleared customs and got a cab outside of the terminal. Everywhere I looked, there were black people. We were the only white people. I realized that I was back in Africa. The gospel camp was located outside of Kingston in an area called Papine. Papine was an undeveloped rural section without electricity or running water. The cab driver led us off near a path that went down a steep hill. It was a local trail. Jim had one flashlight, and we all sort of felt our way down the path, across a small stream, and up a little hill coming to a gate. The gate was ancient. Beside the gate was a bowl of water and a cup to wash your hands before you entered. There was a sign over the gate, also ancient, that read, "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise." A brother came to the gate and opened it. We could see a building with light coming out of the door. The waft of the thick herb called, and the sound of the congregation chanting was unlike anything I had ever heard. Many, many voices as one voice, going higher than any one person could go, deeper than the sound of the earth itself. We had arrived in the middle of evening prayer and were ushered into the church, sitting in the back. The women, Sarah, Judy, and Jennifer, went to a separate sisters' room. Everyone got a spliff to smoke as we listened to the sounds of the ages. Evening prayer lasted 2 to 3 hours, including chant, psalm, and Bible reading. The gospel campsite consisted of the church building, a 24 by 40 foot open area with handmade benches for the brothers to sit on. There was a sister's room and a brother Ivy's personal space for his wife and children. Then behind the temple was a kitchen, which was always a hotbed of coals, cooking food, and heated discussions. When we arrived, there were about 20 black Jamaican brothers and around 15 white brothers and sisters who had been living at the camp to learn the doctrine and Coptic way of life. When prayer finished, we started reasoning with the brothers. Reasoning is what the Coptics call discussing, teaching, and arguing about God and spiritual matters. The black brothers were mostly older, in their 40s and 50s, and had all been followers of an older black man named Lover Williams. Brother Love. Brother Love was a former black Jesuit priest who smoked ganja and quit the Catholic Church in protest of the sodomy and sexual corruption of the priesthood. His claim was that he found the true revelation of the Bible and Christ consciousness in himself. When Brother Love passed on, gathered unto his brethren, as the Coptics say, there was a period of confusion. It was at this time that Brother Ivy answered the call, that he would resurrect the old man's spirit in gospel camp. Evening prayer finished around 11, and then the real prayer began. By real prayer, I mean divine reasoning with the brethren. Divine reasoning is when you speak from the heart. It is considered the highest form of prayer. The Word is God. The Word is God. Welcome to the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church. Some of the white brothers had been living at the camp for months and had learned the doctrine. The doctrine was the teachings and understanding of the Bible as taught by Lover Williams. It is an entire life of living. The white brothers that were there when I arrived were Tom Riley, Gary Rosenzweig, Howard Rosenstein, Alan Meyerson, and Jim Tramner. Jim, my old sidekick, had joined the church earlier, as had Nathan Chapman, Jacob Schneerman, and Marvin Smith. There were others that came and went. As the brothers say, many are called, few are chosen. The Coptic experience always begins with the reasoning, talking. The Jamaican brothers spoke with a most beautiful accent, but took a little time to pick up. So in the beginning, most of the core teachings came from the white brothers. For everyone, this was something new. Black and white unite for the rules of right. We had all been a part of the civil rights movement, and knew black folk had been treated badly, but had no idea of the true history of black people on the earth. That was about to change. The Coptic doctrine can be summarized by saying that the ganja-smoking black people were the original Israelites of the Bible, the chosen people of God. Abraham was a black man, Moses was a black man, and the Christ, Jesus, was a barefoot, bearded, ganja-smoking black man. This initial revelation was enough to rock everyone I knew and turn my understanding of the story told in the Bible upside down. When you first buck up the Coptic brothers, buck up means first time you meet, there are going to be certain things that happen, beginning with the ganja. The ganja is the sacrament of the church, discerned as a spiritual body and blood of the Christ. The Christ, who is the brethren, collectively we are the mind and body of the Christ. And every time we partake of the herb, we partake of a spirit of unfaltering righteousness, the resurrected spirit of the Lamb. Welcome once again to the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church, where the fire burns in ceaseless praise of the living God. The history and genealogy of the Coptics goes back for thousands of years to the dawn of time, all passed on as a secret oral history and way of life, enduring through slavery and oppression of successive world kingdoms, beginning with Egypt, going on continuously all the way to Britain and America today. Britain and America were the cruel old brutes who have shed all our blood on this earth. Slavery, from the slave's point of view, was a living hell, and the red, white, and blue were the slave masters.